We now welcome in Saints Hall of Famer, Fox 8 Saints analyst, Deuce McAllister. Deuce, we can't go any further than this when we talk about this first win. It starts with that magnificent effort by that defense today.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, there's a moniker out there that defense wins championships. Yeah. You play that type of defense, you can play for championships. And so, just kudos to those guys. Hats off to them. Last year you had 7 total interceptions. You come up with 3 today. Probably should have had another 3 on the on deck for you. Run defense, you probably gave up a couple runs, but a lot of teams are going to give up some runs. A lot of teams are going to give up some runs there, and they hit them for the big screen play. Yeah. But outside of that, man, I mean, you made plays.
Made plays. 2 third-down conversions they allowed. Didn't get in the end zone, obviously. Got the 3 takeaways. But the matchup that really jumped out to me, and I tweeted about it during the game, the Saints DBs just destroyed the Titans wide receivers. They were so much better than Tennessee's wide receivers. That matchup really favored the Saints.
Yeah, and here's the surprising part. The Saints didn't travel Marshawn Lattimore a lot with DeAndre Hopkins. I thought that they would travel him a lot with him, and that was not the case. And so, man, if you can play elite receivers like that and you don't have to flip-flop guys or move guys, man, you got something really special. And, you know your top 3 guys, how they played. But when you can put a guy like Ugo Amadi in and make a play, Isaac Yedams, his first play, he was in for Lattimore. Yeah. He makes the tip. Marcus May comes up with the interception. And so when you can depend on guys like that to make plays, that shows you the overall depth that you have, not only in the secondary, but the defense in general.
Flip it over to the offensive side of the ball because it wasn't pretty. They got the job done, but I think the biggest, I guess you can call it a quote-unquote concern, look, there was an issue, I probably somewhere in the second quarter where the pass rush was getting to Derek Carr on the left side with Trevor Penning. We talked to Derek after the game, DA after the game. They say they're not concerned. What did you see in the matchup with Trevor Penning and some of his struggles early in the game?
I'm not necessarily concerned either. I mean, because you knew that was a point of emphasis for teams. You knew that coming into games, teams were going to isolate him, and they did it today. And here's the thing that he's got to get better. He's got to trust his footwork. Yeah. But also, if I'm the Saints and I know I'm not running the ball consistent, give the young man some help. Yeah. Give him some help. You can do it via presence, and you can do it chipping out. And I thought that they did it too late. They finally adjusted on their 2-minute drive, and we know how that drive ended up happening or ending. It was the interception. But you were finally able to protect the quarterback, and that was one of the things we talked about going into the game. You can have all these pretty shiny toys on the outside, but if you can't protect the quarterback, it doesn't matter. Look, those guys, they can get after the quarterback. That's a known, particularly with Simmons up front. Now I can isolate Autry, I can isolate Arden Key, and they can go and make plays. But Saints just have to continue to, hey, look, if we're having issues, this is how we can combat it. And I thought that they made the adjustment, and he got better in the second half.
We knew they weren't going to be able to run the ball a lot. But you said before the game, 70 yards. Give me 70 yards. They got 69 today. I thought in the second half, it wasn't perfect, but they got just enough to keep them honest, and I think to help the overall product of the offense.
Well, and if you don't have the 2 kneel downs, you may have gotten the 70 yards. Right. I mean, and that was just understanding the game and being that it was going to be tough sledding. And you knew that just from watching the film and knowing how Tennessee likes to play. It's going to be tough sledding running the football. And so if you can get to 70, that means that I've allowed myself enough where I can still have that threat, and they can't just play in that 2 safety shell high, but I can also be able to run the football. And so I think it'll get better. You've got to, in a sense, hold on until Alvin can get back. And this was a tough defense. You got enough tough matchup coming up next Monday. Yeah. Now, they don't have the horses inside as you have here, but Brian Burns, and they got some playmakers in Carolina, and so it'll be interesting to see how the Saints try to attack them a little bit different.
They go out, they sign Derek Carr in the offseason. We know that, and they have not been shy about expressing their confidence in Derek Carr. Look, it wasn't perfect from Derek Carr today, but I thought he navigated the pocket well in particular. And when the game was on the line, he had the big throw to Rashid Shaheed to convert that 3rd down and really essentially clinch the game at that point. What did you think of Derek Carr?
Well, I thought Derek was solid. I mean, there's going to be looks that he missed. There's going to be some things that he missed and some things that he wants to do better. He was able to get you in and out of the huddle. He was able to go out there and line guys up. And there was a couple times where he's up there calling the plays. He's up there getting them up to the line of scrimmage quickly. He's up there seeing what he wants to get those guys into. And so he'll tell you the biggest knock on Derek past years has been the lack of successes he had in the red zone. There was a couple times that, maybe a check here, maybe a check there. I didn't think the Saints coaching staff helped him a lot with some of the play calls and design in the red zone, but you didn't hurt yourself a lot there. You get that better, and I think that, you know, offensively, you can kind of do some of the things that you want to do.
We'll finish off with this. Superdome's back, baby, huh? I mean, it was outstanding in here from a crowd perspective. It really was loud inside Superdome today.
Yeah, the crowd was responsible for 4 false starts in this game, and so early on, if you don't have that turnover that the defense still held in, I mean, it could have got ugly as far as pandemonium and excitement from that fan base. And so hopefully this is something that we can continue to build on, because it used to be where teams didn't want to come and play at all. And so hopefully they can win at home, because you've got an advantage.
Wasn't pretty, but 1-0 is 1-0. Deuce, thank you.
Thank you.